High school sports are one of the things that make living in California so great.
But sometimes the behavior in the stands can overshadow our achievements on the field.
I love it when my parents show up for me.
But being booed for missing a play could be crushing.
And remember that refs are people too.
They're trying their best to call a fair and correct game.
Hey, and enough with all the swearing.
No one should feel insulted or ashamed
because of their race, ethnicity, or gender.
We should be able to hold our heads high after the match, win or lose.
And welcome everyone to the SportsSceneTV.net weekly live stream podcast. I'm Anthony Serenata. Glad you could join us. It is week 9. Holy cow, what a week in football, prep football it was. And to join me shortly will be Josh Thompson as he's getting himself set up here from the Champion newspaper, as we knew that one, the league opener against Charter Oak and Ayala was going to be a good one. Josh was out at the game covering it and brings back some great information. I had an opportunity to watch the game as well, and it really was built up exactly the way the outcome came out. And just it was amazing to see two teams in the top of the Mountain West League just go head to head. So let's go ahead and bring in Josh to the stream. And Josh Thompson, how you doing?
What's up, guy? How's it going?
Hey, I'll tell you, that week 1 opener was something else. Let's just dive right into it because we want to talk about the league opener week. And then you brought up Chino versus Roland, and I hit that on Max Preps, and holy cow, I think we got plenty to talk about. And then had an opportunity to jump on the phone and ask Coach LaRosa if he wanted to join us. He said, sure, why not? So he'll be joining us shortly as well. But let's just dive in real quick to let everybody know if you want to jump in, you can hit us in the comments section. Just make sure you give the StreamYard platform access, and we'll be able to see it. But let's jump right into it, Josh. That Ayala Charter Oak game, holy cow!
Yeah, yeah. We talked about that last week. With this game could be the league championship game for the Mountain West League, and sure enough, it lived up to the hype, big time. Both teams came out firing. Both defenses stepped up too. And if you look at it on paper, Charter Oak had almost 200 yards in penalties. They were sacked 9 times by the Bulldogs defense, and you would think Ayala would came out with that win. Just looking at those stats, but it was the opposite. Charter Oak also threw for almost 300 yards in the first half. They had the big plays where they had the 65-yard touchdown. They had a 50-yard touchdown just a few minutes later. So they made the plays when they needed to. And Ayala, the last minute of the game ended up getting the ball back with about a minute and a half left, down 3 points, and had a chance to win. And Charter Oak's defense stepped up, and on a 4th down play, the defender was able to get a hand on the ball and knock it down and secure the win for the Chargers.
And we talked about it. We said, what it's going to come down to is maybe one big play. And like you said, the ball getting swatted away. But let's talk about just how both teams came in. Did you see that there were a lot of mistakes made? Were we playing a lot of flawless football? I mean, what did you see from both sides that made this game amazing?
Yeah, what it made amazing was really the defense for both teams. Early on, there was a lot of 3-and-outs. There was a lot of punting. That gets up to holding court there. But Charter Oak making those big plays. Richie Munoz, the quarterback for Charter Oak, just hitting his targets when he needed to, able to find the open receiver. And, like I said, got a 65-yard touchdown. That really opened up the game. Ayala came back and had a nice run. Marquise Monroe broke free for like a 53-yard run. Charter Oak came back and scored a few minutes later on a 50-yard pass. So they were making the plays when they needed to. It was coming down to the last about the last 3 quarters of the fourth quarter were left. And Charter Oak was up 32-20 at that point, and were punting out of their own end zone. And I thought to myself, and I even told someone on the sidelines, I said, wouldn't it be amazing if Charter Oak just kind of takes a safety right here instead of possibly getting their punt blocked and Ayala recovering it for a touchdown and then kick the extra point to be 32-27. Just take the safety, keep your 10-point lead, and it pushes Ayala back after the free kick all the way back to the 40-yard line or whatever it was. And it seemed to pay off at the moment, because what the punter did is he grabbed the snap and he just took 2 steps out of bounds and recorded the safety. So that made it 32-22 Charter Oak, where, if they had tried to punt the ball, maybe it got blocked, Ayala would recover for a touchdown and be down 5 points to Charter Oak, and Charter Oak would have to run their offense. But that gave them a little extra time, keeping a 2-score lead and taking that safety on purpose. And then for Ayala, they did have a chance to come back and win that game. That was 32-29 at that point, and they scored a touchdown after the 22. After making it 22, they scored a touchdown to go down by 3, got the ball back, and then just couldn't drive the field. And that's where Charter Oak's defense stepped up on that 4th down play.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough one, and we knew it was going to be an exciting one, and you were there on hand to catch it. So taking a look at the way the league is shaping up, so Bonita, with the victory last week over Altaloma, is undefeated in league play, 1-0, along with Charter Oak. And guess what? Those two play against each other this week. Another head-to-head matchup to see how that goes. But after seeing what you saw and what I saw in that Ayala game, I just don't know if anyone is up to the task to give Charter Oak a loss here in league play. Or do you see it differently?
No, not at all. I think Charter Oak can run the table here in the last 2 games and win the Mountain West title. Then it all depends up to Ayala. Probably Ayala and Bonita is my guess to finish up who finishes second in league. And then obviously the loser of that game would finish third. Altaloma, unless they pull out a victory here over Ayala and Charter Oak, they'll finish 4th. But Charter Oak should come out with a victory against Bonita, win the league title, go into the playoffs as the top seed from the Mountain West League. And we'll see what happens from there. I know Ayala, I think it was last year, was 10-0 going into the playoffs, but had some injuries going into the first round. So hopefully for Charter Oak's sake, they can stay healthy and make a nice run into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Coach La Rosa from Chino has joined us here. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Hey, Coach, how's it going? How you doing?
How's it going, fellas? I'm doing well. How about yourselves?
Hey, really well. In fact, we are proud to announce that you are our first repeat customer coming back to join us, and of course, well deserved. I was chatting with Josh earlier today, and we were talking, and he mentioned, yeah, we should definitely have a fun time talking about the Sierra League opener between Chino and Roland. And when we looked at the numbers and I looked at the stats, of course, Josh Thompson always right. And let's just go ahead and bring it up, Josh. I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, Joey, I wanted to ask you, Nathan is your guy that's come to the team now after having to sit out those few games there. And he's come in and really stepped up. And, the last game was 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. Just amazing. I mean, tell me a little bit about what he's bringing to the team.
Like I said, we've been excited. We've been waiting for him. He had to sit out 6 games with a sit-out period because we played a week 0 game. But no, like I said, he's just a great kid who works real hard. And like I said, he's brought a big spark plug to our offense, really. He's been able to run in between the tackles, outside the tackles. He's not afraid of contact or anything. So like I said, he's just really helped open up our offense. Now teams got to respect the run a lot more. And so that gets other guys open, our receivers open. It gets Diego Gato a little bit more reads and stuff. he gets to pull the ball a little bit more and stuff. So no, like I said, he's brought a huge spark to our team and our offense, especially at a time where going into league where we need that.
Yeah, and these guys are juniors, so you got them one more year too, so they can get this experience now. Maybe even go in and win a league title the first year, and you got them one more year too, a full season with Nathan there at running back. So how exciting is that going to be coming in these next 2 games? One at Pomona, at home against Covina, possibly for the league title. Sounds like it's on paper that's what it should be, and I'm excited to go cover both games. I'll be there tomorrow night again at Pomona, and at home next week against Covina. So how exciting is it, to have these guys on your team now, and you got them a couple games of experience, maybe possibly even a playoff game coming up, and then 1 full season to go.
No, yeah, it's definitely we're excited. Like I said, right now we're just talking. Like I think we bring back 8 of 11 starters next year on offense and stuff. So like we're our underclassmen, so we're excited to again have those guys back. But no, like I said, right now we're focused on Pomona. They're a good football team. I think you were there a couple years ago when we played them at Pomona, and they were very young. They were a freshman team really that year. A lot of those guys were freshmen playing bars, so those guys are juniors. And like I said, they've been greatly improved. They played Covina tough last week. So like I said, we're excited to get their best shot at us because they're playing for a playoff spot as well. So again, we're expecting their best shot. And like I said, they've been greatly improved over this year and even from the last few years. Like I said, we're excited to get their best shot tomorrow night.
Yeah, going into the season too, we had the opener, the shutout loss to Western, but now it seems like it's the script is totally flipped on Chino High School, where you guys are putting up points, putting up a ton of yards. I mean, 600 and some yards on offense. Roland's not a joke of a team either. They're pretty good. They're 4-4 going into that game. But how exciting and how fun is it for you and the coaching staff to watch these kids go from where they started to where they are now?
Oh no, absolutely, yeah. From game 0 to where we're at now, like I said, a lot of our kids this was their first year playing Friday night under the lights and stuff, and so just to see where they've come from week 0 to now, which is awesome. I think we won 4 out of our last 5 games. So like I said, we're right where we want to be. Like I said, we're 1-0 in league right now. We're playing a tough Pomona team tomorrow night. Like I said, we're right where we need to be going forward into league. And so like we said, we're just excited. Like I said, we're putting up points and just excited to play football.
Coach, I think what's even more exciting to hear is after that 61-48 win, you hear Josh Thompson's coming to 2 consecutive games to cover you. So you're doing something good.
Finally get to get out
there. He's gracing us with his presence 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, we're excited for that. Yeah.
Coach, 61 points on the board. Has your team accomplished this feat or anything close to it as you being head coach?
No, honestly, 62 points. This is my 11th year as coaching football, and that's the most points I think we've ever put up as a team anywhere I've ever been. So I know Mr. Hinkle and stuff. They're looking for the record books to see. I think we ran for 605 yards total. I think our total offense we were about 700 yards. But he was trying to see if that was a game record for the team, individual records for either Blanco or Diego. So like he's taking a look in the archives and stuff. I mean, the Chino football is very historic and has a lot of great people come here. So he's trying to look to see where those numbers compare to some of the greats who've been here through Chino and stuff. And so he hasn't got back to me yet. He's still looking and stuff, but no, like I said, it's been amazing offensive performance for us last week.
I would think between the duo between Nathan and Diego, 577 combined. I don't think that's ever been done by any Chino team or possibly any team ever, having 2 guys go for 277 plus in the same game.
Yeah.
And how many touchdowns too? I mean, combined for 9 touchdowns in that game. I can't think of a duo who's ever done that anywhere.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we scored on 9 of our 11 drives, and on one of the drives we fumbled at the goal line. So like I said, we were close to putting up more, but no, like I said, we are kind of happy with where our offense is. Like I said, it's pick your poison. It's whether you're gonna play Blanco on the zone or you're gonna let Ogata keep it. And now this has also opened up stuff for our receivers, especially Daniel Nakashima. He's been double covered pretty much every single game we played this year. Right. So again, you got to pick your poison. Are you going to double Nakashima? Are you going to put an extra guy in the box for Blanco? Or are you going to slow the read down for Ogata? Like I said, we got a triple head of guys that we think that all 3 of them, anytime they touch the ball, that they could score for us.
I mean, again, we're looking at these highlights here, and it's amazing to see the run attack, how you have guys who are running one path and realize they need to, divert and move another way, and they just do it so seamlessly. And again, I mean, the yardage, 58 plus yards, 60 yards. I mean, the stamina of these young kids just attributes to the strength training that you do in the weight room.
No, yeah, definitely. Like I said, our goal this year as a staff was we were trying to not get a lot of two-way players. So we have a lot of guys playing for us this year. So, like, again, in a game like this, come to the fourth quarter, you could tell that Roland had a lot more guys going both ways, and they got a little bit more tired than us. And like I said, fourth quarter, like I said, we had guys going both just one way, and who could probably play another quarter or two. And so, like I said, when things got, like when we needed to stop, we got Blanco Ogata in on defense as well. But for the most part, they just played almost purely offense for us. But like I said, it's just we're trying to get our guys to go in one way so they can play a full 4 quarters of just good football.
Now we talked about the offense too and how well they did against Roland. But let's talk about the defense too. I know Roland's running back went for 6 touchdowns and 400 and some yards. I think 441, somewhere around there. But any concern with that kind of numbers being put up against the defense?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Now going for a league title.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's a lot of things that we got to clean up defensively. But I mean, you got to tip your caps to Roland as well. We're not the first team that guy's had a game like that against. And so, like I said, you got to tip your cap to him and that coaching staff over there. They're doing a great job of getting him the ball. But no, there's a lot of things that we got to clean up defensively and stuff. And our coaching Gleeman's doing a great job with the defense, and he's taking care of that and stuff. So, but no, it's good to kind of see where we need to make adjustments or where we need to clean things up. So again, like I said, you never want to give up 48 points or 400 yards rushing. But again, there's going to be games, like I said, where offense is going to have to bail out the defense. Defense is going to have to bail out the offense and stuff. And like I said, team win. So like I said, a lot of stuff we got to correct defensively, offensively as well. But again, like I said, to come away with a win like that, like I said, we're happy to be 1-0 in the league and with a chance to go 2-0 tomorrow night.
Yeah, most definitely.
So you have Pomona coming up, Coach. What have you seen on a video from them? And what's going to take from the Cowboys to come away with a victory here in the league?
Like I said, so Pomona was very young 2 years ago, so all those guys are juniors this year. So that whole kind of team kind of stayed together the last couple of years. So they're all juniors, and then, like I said, they're very good football. They played Covina. They got up early on Covina. I think on halftime, I think it was like maybe 21-14 or 2014. So they probably gave Covina a little bit of scare in that first half, and they ended up kind of running away with it in the second. I think the final was like 42 or 41-20. So like again, they played Covina tough for a half, and like for the whole game, like it was very competitive and stuff. But like I said, we're not overlooking Pomona to get to Covina or anything like that. But again, they got some good athletes. They throw the ball around a lot of disguises, kind of getting the ball, a lot of zone reads and stuff. So they're kind of similar to us on offense. So again, it's good that our defense kind of sees that every day in practice. Like I said, our game plan again is just kind of stick with our guys, get the ball to our dudes, Ogata, Blanco, Nakashima, guys like that. But again, like I said, it should be a very exciting game tomorrow night. It should be very competitive, just like our game was last week, and just kind of how the Covina Pomona game was. Like I said, all games this year in the league, they seem to be very competitive so far, and that's what they wanted when they created these new leagues.
All right.
And Coach, as far as it being a Thursday night game versus Friday, do you feel the turnaround takes away, or do you think it gives you a little advantage when you're going up against Pomona?
It's definitely your practices are a little bit longer during the week and stuff because again you are losing out on one day of practice. Usually your walkthrough day where you kind of clean up stuff. So again, our practices are a little bit longer Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on a Thursday night game. But again, like I said, the kids are used to that. We played a couple Thursday night games already this year. So the kids are kind of used to our routine and stuff. So like I said, it's nothing new or nothing crazy for them. But again, like I said, you would always, as a coach, you would always love that one extra day to prepare and stuff and get everything you want in, or those wrinkles and stuff like that, clean everything up. But again, like I said, sometimes you just got to go out there and play football. But like I said, we're ready. We had good 3 days of practice. Like I said, yeah, time to go tomorrow night.
Is there any plan to try to get Nakamura maybe some more touches, or Nakashima a little bit more touches?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I know he had three catches for 40, but maybe I know the other guys had all the runs. But is there any chance to try to get him some touches too?
No, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we've been doing a lot with him this year. We put him in the backfield, we put him at the slot, we put him on the outside. So like I said, we've been trying to just get him balls in a lot of different ways and stuff. And like the last 2 weeks. Like I said, he's still been getting double teamed. He's still having a safety over the top. But again, with the game week we had like last week, we're hoping that teams kind of maybe focus more on the run a little bit. Like I said, that gets him a little bit, maybe some coverage and stuff where he's not always being double teamed. But no, like I said, we got a lot of ways to get in the ball this week and stuff, whether he's running. Like he had a few runs for us last week on some fly sweeps and stuff like that, some screens, some just regular long passes and stuff. But no, like I said, our goal is, he's definitely our most explosive offensive weapon as a skill guy on the outside. So again, our offensive coordinator Michael Blackburn's doing a good job of finding different ways to get him the ball. Because like I said, obviously Blancos and Ogata are the 1-2 punch on our running game. But again, you got to respect Nakashima and our other athletes on the outside as well, which I think makes us very dynamic. We have a lot of guys who can touch the ball and do good things with the ball in their hands.
Right.
Well, Coach, again, congratulations on the big 61-48 win. We know, again, last minute, we really appreciate you coming on. Looks like you're still on campus there, probably just finished wrapping up.
Yes.
You know, tell the kids, though, good news. Josh Thompson will be there for the next 2.
We'll do it.
Tell them your reward after a 61-48 win is, 2-week coverage by Josh Thompson.
Yeah.
Get some beautiful photos and some amazing coverage. But
always does an awesome job covering us pictures. Yeah,
I can't wait to go. I've been, saw you guys the first game, and the schedule mixed up, whatever, with the milk can and the Battle of the Bone, whatever. But I'm excited to get out there and see you guys the next 2 weeks.
Oh no, yeah, I can't wait. Hope to see you tomorrow night out there. Yeah, good to see you out there again. Yeah, it's been a while. Hopefully it's a lot better than that week 0 game. Yeah.
Well, Coach, we'll let you go. And again, thank you so much for joining us on Last Minute. Really appreciate it. And again, for our trivia question, we ask who's our repeat guest that we've had in one season. It'll be Coach LaRosa. So
there we go.
Thank you so much, Coach. You enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, you guys too. Have a good one.
See you tomorrow,
Thanks for the invite. See you tomorrow, Josh.
See ya.
That's Coach LaRosa. Josh, again, a big win. And, it's exciting to hear great things out of Chino again with hearing him say that we have a lot of guys that we don't have to play both ways. I mean, that's old school Chino football right there.
Yeah, and that was a big deal with him at the beginning of the season, too, is, how many guys can play both ways, because they needed that many people to play both ways. Now, thankfully, it sounds like that they can stick to their one, good position that they want to play, whether it's offense or defense, and not have to go both ways. Because I think it was Ogata. I think it was him at the beginning of the season. Coach LaRosa told me he's going to play quarterback and linebacker. I'm like, wow, I've never seen someone play quarterback and linebacker in the same game. I've seen quarterback and safety. That was Cole McCain at Ayala a couple years ago. But playing linebacker too, man, that's a rough position to then having to go back and play quarterback right after too. So it's good for them, and I'm excited to see them tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely fun to see the Chino Cowboys in action. And they'll be playing against Pomona. That's a Thursday night game. And then the other league game in the Sierra League is going to be Roland at Covina. And Roland goes in the game 4-4 overall. Covina 4-4 overall as well. Covina, the other team, undefeated in league play, but should be good matchups tomorrow night. And if you get a chance, go out to those games, and you'll see Josh Thompson there. But
Yes.
Let's go ahead and switch gears, Josh, and let's chat about the Baseline League. We had an opportunity to see Chino Hills against a tough Rancho Cucamonga team, and Rancho Cucamonga with the shutout 42-0. And they're going to just have another, I think, like you said, every week in the Baseline League is a playoff caliber game. They're going up against Upland, and that's what this league's all about.
Yeah, most definitely. Unfortunately for Chino Hills, it sounds like just injuries are just taking their toll on them, mostly on the offensive end with the quarterback being out. I think I've seen their running back is out, and a few other people too. So it's just unfortunate because they're such a good team, such a good coach, good coaches on that staff. And like I said, we've been praising their defense like crazy the last few weeks, especially when they lost to Ayala by a point. They very well could have won that game. The Etowanda game as well, and the Charter Oak game earlier in the season. These are all very, very close games that could have completely turned the record around. But it's just unfortunate for, happens in football. Injuries take their toll, and unfortunately it just took it too much on Chino Hills this year. I don't know if they'll have a competitive game this week. It's just that they just don't have the numbers out there to compete against an Upland team who's very good. So They're very well be 0-4, but they'll regroup. And Keelan Johnson's a good coach. He knows what he's doing, and they can come back in next August and hopefully make a good run for a baseline league title.
No, absolutely, absolutely. It was a heartfelt couple of weeks. Watching them play, and then just fall a little short. In that game against Etowanda and the game against Ayala, and then to see the quarterback have that injury in the game against Damien. Speaking of Damien, Josh, they're 2-0 along with Rancho 2-0, and they have the big, I think what we'll call the baseline league decider for champ. Who's going to be league champ. You have both teams, Damien at Rancho this Friday night. Should be a big one. I'm not sure if Coach Bechtel will be on the sidelines or up in the stands like he has, but I mean, I don't know if you want to mess around with good luck. It seems like when he was up in the stands, the team was performing really well, playing off of that adversity without Coach being there.
Yeah, most definitely. That's a team. We've been saying it for several weeks now. That's the team to watch in the baseline league because they're such a good coach program with Bechtel and their staff. And then the fight with Bishop Ahmad didn't help things. But with Bechtel out, they're 2-0. They had a bye last week, so they get a chance to rest up. Maybe come up with some new schemes going up against a good Rancho team on this week. So that'll be probably the baseline league championship game with one game to go because Upton already has a loss. So Rancho and Damien are the only two undefeated teams this week. But I've been reading about that with Bechtel and talking to a couple of people. It sounds like Bechtel may miss one more game on the sidelines. And I don't think, if I heard this right, I don't think he was there for the last game at all, whether in the stands or on the field. So when I hear he's got one more game left, and then they have their final game October 28th, I think it is. So they're in the mix for the championship, but they're going to have to beat a very good Rancho team who's well coached and well put together. So it's like you said, it's going to be for the baseline league title this week at Rancho.
Let's go ahead and switch gears and jump into the other Chino Valley team in the area, the Don Lugo Conquistadors. Tell us how things fared out for them and what we're looking like for this week.
Yeah, they're a team too that's pretty young and still trying to find their way. They do have some decent seniors on their team. Aiden Machado's linebacker. He gets a couple carries on offense as well. But they're a team that just needs to just get it together, come together, score some points. They played a very good West Covina team this week in their first San Antonio League game and came out with a loss. I think it was 36-7 in that one. But they play, I forget who they play this week, but I know next week they play Chaffee. Oh, it's Claremont. It's Claremont this week. They have a very good Claremont team. So they're going to have to really put some stuff together on offense and defense to try to stop this team. Claremont's always been like a good run team. They're a team that can run for 300 yards and pass for 60, and score 7 touchdowns a game. So they're very good. Don Lugo's really going to have to try to put something together, use their running backs. Elijah Montijo is very good, and try to get him in the open field there and try to block for him and that. That kind of stuff there and try to, get through that Claremont defense. But I'd have to give this one to Claremont if I had to pick a winner in this game. They're a very good team. Don Lugo's, like I said, still trying to come together and find their way. And then Don Lugo has a last game against Chaffee. I believe it's next Thursday at Don Lugo. And Chaffee's a team last year that beat Don Lugo. I think it was like 49-6, give or take a few points, but it was a shutout until the last minute of the game, and Don Lugo finally put in one in the end zone to break the shutout. But Don Lugo will want to seek some revenge against Chaffee in that last game. So
nice. So we've pretty much went around the Chino Valley with the Mountain West, that tough baseline league. Had a chance to talk to Coach LaRosa about the big victory in the Sierra League matchup between Roland and the Chino Cowboys. And then to wrap it up, just to make mention, there was a rivalry game that took place last week as well. It was the annual Branding Iron game between Diamond Bar and Walnut. Diamond Bar with the victory, 35-28, and some big key players from their big wide receiver, Maddox Bernardino, and then Isaiah Young, the stud running back, getting a lot of recognition on Twitter and votes for being a player of the week. So definitely hit that if you'd like to recognize the young man for his great effort. But Josh, you mentioned already you'll be at the Chino Cowboy game covering some of those. If anyone wants to check out your coverage, where can they go and find you?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be in print. The Chino Pomona game will be in print this weekend. See it on Friday night, Saturday morning, depending on when you get the paper. We'll have a photo gallery up on Facebook, Champion Newspapers on Facebook, and then on Instagram at Champion Newspapers _Josh T. And we'll have a photo gallery of there from the game from tomorrow night. And looking forward to it. So a team that puts up 61, it's time to go see them.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And then, of course, if you want to check out our information, you can always go to our website, sportscenetv.net. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Sports Scene TV. And then, of course, we're on the gram, Sports Scene TV 1 as well. And on here on YouTube, Sports Scene TV 1. And don't forget, we are here every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And we love to chat with you and see what's going on. Of course, I think our viewer from last week was the big Braves fan, and I think is a little heartbroken, just like the rest of us Dodger fans are this week. So
yeah, and I'm a Yankee fan as well, so I'm kind of pulling for them. At the moment, it's 3-1 Houston in the 7th inning, so I'm kind of pulling for them. But yeah, but the Dodgers out, the Braves are out. It's tough. It's a rough year.
I know one guy that's definitely still happy and in the running with his team is a longtime friend and fellow sports reporter Pete Marshall. He is a Philly fan, and so he is all about the Eagles. He's all about the Phillies. So I believe he on Twitter even posted he was at the game over at Petco Field. So he was in his heaven. And the last I checked, the Padres were up, had a big 5-run inning. So I don't know if that's still the case or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, I saw it. He was up on the second deck, up behind the plate. I've sat up there over there at Petco Park. It's a great seat to watch baseball because it's an overview of the field. You get the city skyline in the background. My wife and I, my daughter, we go there probably like twice a year. We're not Padres fans, but we like the stadium a lot and the surrounding area. You have the Gaslamp District right there with all the restaurants and shopping and everything. And Petco Park's 2-minute walk from there, so it's fun.
Well, we've been having debates in the office about are these Padre fans real Padre fans, or are they just bandwagoners, and can they actually name former Padre players, excluding Tony Gwynn's name, because everybody knows Tony Gwynn.
Yeah.
But do they know anybody else? That's the question.
Maybe this year with Manny Machado there, I would think people would know who he is. I can't name very many, and I went to 2 games this year. So, but they're a good team, and it was tough to see them lose to the Dodgers like they did. I know the Dodgers were talking a little bit of trash after the very first win, saying that they were their Padre, they're like their father, that trash talk there. And then, of course, the Padres win the next 3 games. So I don't like the trash talking too much until you win, then talk a little bit, of course.
Yeah. And if you aren't sure about, who was on the Padres in the past, you don't have to go very far. There were a few Dodger players that ended it, went and continued their career on with the Padres. Steve Garvey. And
Dave Winfield didn't play for the Dodgers, but he played for the Padres for a little while too.
Fernando Valenzuela went to the Padres. And then, of course, you have the big names that I remember. Again, not only Tony Gwynn, but Jack Clark. And I believe the pitcher Goose Gossage was there as well.
It was as a reliever.
So, see, and I'm not even a Padre fan. I'm just a baseball fan. So.
And Goose Gossage was a Yankee at one point too. So.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. We should put ourselves up to some Padre trivia up against these so-called Padre fans and see if they knew. Maybe they just bought these brand new jerseys recently. So
I bet you, because I went to a game probably in June. I think it was in June, end of June. Saw them against the Rockies, and it was on a Saturday night, 6:00, 6:10 start. It was pretty full. So I'm like, okay, maybe they are, not bandwagon fans, now just because they're in the playoffs, especially now in the NLCS. But the Padre fans are pretty loyal, and I remember the surrounding area around Petco Park before the game. We were in that area about 2.5 hours before the game, getting something to eat, a drink before we walked in the stadium, and it was full of Padre fans. So I'm sure there's some bandwagon fans just because they're in the division or the NLCS now, but Padre fans are pretty loyal. There's not a whole lot of professional sports teams in San Diego. The Chargers left to come to LA, so San Diego Padres is pretty much it. There's no basketball because the Clippers came to LA, years ago, and there's no hockey there other than minor league. So Padres is it.
Don't want to do any name dropping, but back in the day when they had the All-Star game in San Diego, this was back in the 90s, and they hosted the All-Star Fan Fest. Had an opportunity to go down there as a teenager and had a chance to meet players. And I'm not sure if today's young baseball fans would know the names, but I had an opportunity to meet Jay Johnstone. He was kind of just walking around, and had an opportunity to get an autograph and meet Al Kaline.
Nice.
And so that was nice. And then of course, some of the newer ball players as well. But that's my San Diego story, and that's pretty much it with baseball.
Yeah, I have a good San Diego story too. Years ago, I was 17 years old. A friend of mine and I went down there to Qualcomm Stadium. I think it was even Jack Murphy Stadium at that time. This is back in like 1991. So it's been a little while. We're 17 years old. We drive down to the game. They're playing the Dodgers, and we end up running into Vince Scully in the parking lot. We just happened to get there really early. We had no idea what we were doing. So we got to the game like at 3:30 for a 7:00 game, and we run into Vince Scully. And so I have an autograph. I'm sitting about 2 feet from it right now. It's on my my thing here, and still have that. And the only thing I can come up with to say to him when we were talking to him, we were saying hi and everything, but the only thing I can come up with is that I said, "You sound just like you do on TV." I was like, "What the hell did I just say?" I said, "You sound just like you do on TV." It's his voice. I mean, when you're starstruck with a guy who's a legend, been a Dodger announcer for 50 years at that point, what do you say? And then when you're a crazy teenager like we were, that's all I came up with. So every time my friend and I get together, and he's like, we see someone, even whether it's on TV or something, we say, "Yeah, you sound just like you do on TV."
There you go.
That's our catchphrase for my friend and I. It's pretty funny. But I was born in La Mesa, California, which is next door to San Diego. So San Diego holds pretty dear to my heart. My dad worked in the shipyards down in the port down there in San Diego. That's why I was born there. We're from this part of Southern California, but for a year and a half, my dad worked down in the shipyards of San Diego. We had a house in Pacific Beach, and we lived there for 6 whole months after I was born. So we came back, moved out to Whittier, came out to Ontario when I was 4 years old, and been here ever since.
And we'll have to then come back on another podcast and find out then from a San Diego town how then you become a Browns fan back there. But we'll talk about that later on.
That's right there.
Yeah.
We're talking about the opposite thing here.
Exactly.
It's
the
to
mirrors.
my left. It's to
Exactly.
My left, so,
We'll have to get that. We'll have to get that story soon. But Josh, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks everyone for joining us. We had a great night. Keeping it a little shorter than last week. I know we went a little long with Coach Dominic Farrar. Great interview to chat with him. Went above and beyond just football. But we really are thankful that you joined us tonight. And don't forget to catch Josh out at the Chino Cowboy football game and his coverage. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter. And until next time, we'll see you again. Thank you so much for watching the SportsSceneTV.net Weekly Prep Sports Podcast. And until next time, so long, everybody.
High school sports are one of the things that make living in California so great.
But sometimes the behavior in the stands can overshadow our achievements on the field.
I love it when my parents show up for me.
But being booed for missing a play could be crushing.
And remember that refs are people too.
They're trying their best to call a fair and correct game.
Hey, and enough with all the swearing.
No one should feel insulted or ashamed
because of their race, ethnicity, or gender.
We should be able to hold our heads high after the match, win or lose.